I want to really frame this class because frame kind of what happened and then ultimately what's going to happen is there were primarily three segments. The people pulled video down and they framed those segments so their viewers or their followers or their readers, when they watched these segments or just saw photos or whatever, then they took the responsibility of explaining to them what it is I was saying. So you might see a photo of me, but then this person is going to write about what I said in the class and what I did, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reenact those three segments. So let you all be the judge of what it is. You know, how out of line I was and whether I deserve to be criticized or, however it is, right? We'll let you be the judge of that. But I thought, well, the best thing I can do is redo some of these segments, right? Let me just say something at the outset to help frame this. We're really at a very delicate time in our history. The issue is we've got these ways to connect with one another that we never had in the past. And so we have these opportunities to get inside of each other's minds and project our ideas out into their lives and have them project their ideas out into us. And then seek and find other people who think like us and build these communities around any number of sociological issues, factors, and forces. Okay, so they're just like social media just allows networking in a way that we never dreamed was possible. And most of you are of an age that you just grew up with this, but you don't realize how much this has radically changed the world. Now, if you've been following the news about Facebook and this whistleblower and so on, right? The one thing that really jumped out from this and that we should pay attention to, now it's nothing new. We've known this, we've seen it, lots of people have been seeing this and saying it. Now, mind you, I'm the contrarian in all this, right? Like, when my friends are like, oh, social media and cell phones and all this stuff's going to be the downfall of civilization. I'm the guy that stands up and says, you know what, actually, I don't think so. I actually think that young people and kids and so on are probably more connected now than they're, and probably have better social skills than they ever had. Even though their faces appear to be in their phones all the time, I feel like it's improving social. I mean, there are all sorts of ways in which this is really positive, right? So I'm this contrarian guy, but there's one way in which I want to point out that we got a little bit of an issue. We know that human beings are more likely to engage when our blood pressure goes up. So when we feel some kind of excitement, when we feel some kind of annoyance, some kind of anger, a sadness, divisiveness, when we're in a fight, when we're, really battling it out with someone, we're more likely to engage. So in the world of social media, what that means is you're more likely not just to read something on your phone, but to respond to it and post things on your own. Now, what we have here is a gazillion-dollar industry, right? I mean, what is it? Like Facebook, it's estimated it's like $1 trillion company at this point. I mean, this is just unimaginable. So these are companies that built, you could say obscene, but extreme profits based on people engaging. All they got to do is get us to engage. Like we're the product, and we're making it from every time we engage, every time we open it, every time we post something, every time whatever, their profit goes up because we're doing it. So then in their minds, and all of the social media minds, like, well, we just got to get people to engage more. If they could get every human being on earth to be on their phones and do nothing but just post and read 24/7, imagine the kind of profits they could make given what they make now. And that's the goal. That would be the goal, right? Because this is free market capitalism, whatever, however we want to say. I mean, but this would be the goal of this capitalist empire, right? But what they also know is that, but if we can get people to be angry, if we can create animosity, if we can create sadness, if we can create enemies, people will post even more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build these algorithms. And we're going to find out who these people are. So it's like, we know what your likes and dislikes are. So it's not that we're going to put on your Facebook page the things you like and dislike. We'll do that. But we can also, the things that you like. But we'll also put the things you dislike, because that's going to get your blood pressure up. And then you're just going to you're more likely to post. You're more likely to engage. And so we have an entire system based on building animosity. My friends, this is actually really, really dangerous. Okay? So now, I experienced this a little bit this summer. And I've always experienced it to some degree, but wow, this summer it was a tidal wave compared to what I would typically experience. Okay? So this is the frame around which I'm going to talk. So last April or March or whenever it was, I don't know what it was, but there was this diversity training video or photo that got leaked. And the Coca-Cola company had hired these diversity trainer to come in and talk to their corporation and so on, right? And this is the kind of thing that happens, right? People hire me sometimes to do that kind of stuff. I don't know why, but whatever, they do. So this person came in, and someone took a shot of this slide. And this was a summary slide. To be less white is to be less oppressive, less arrogant, be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, break with the party, and break with white solidarity. Okay? Personally, dude, I don't know about you, I find that really offensive. It's disturbing to me. As someone who's trying to teach about this stuff and actually bring people together in a thoughtful way, not only do I find it disturbing and offensive, and racist, to be honest with you, right?
I personally agree with that.
Do you see any value to it? Or do you but maybe because there's some of it, I don't know, what part of it could you agree with?
I don't really agree with any of it. It's just kind of singling out a certain group of people and saying that they're ignorant, oppressive, arrogant. It doesn't matter. Say you replaced white with black, white with Asian, white with Saudi, it doesn't matter. It still can be offensive to whatever group it's
okay,
directed
so
to.
let me push back a little bit on this, right? But isn't there something to be less white is to be a little less defensive, maybe? How about that one, dude? Less defensive. White people get pretty defensive about a lot of stuff. Man.
Yeah, everybody can. Everybody can defend
But in the world
themselves.
of race relations, white people have their own unique way of being defensive, right?
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, I'm just pushing a little bit because I'm I got to find something in this, right? Because I say it's dumb overall, but some parts of it are probably dumber than others, right? To be less white is to be less oppressive, to be less arrogant, to be less certain, to be less defensive, to be less ignorant, more humble, to listen more, to break with the party line and break with white solidarity and so on. That's what it really means to be less white.
Am I supposed to respond to that?
Do you have any idea who said that?
Huh?
Do you know who said that?
I don't know who said that.
Who do you think?
I don't know, maybe you?
If Sam said that, how would you feel about that?
I don't know if I'd necessarily agree with that. I don't think anybody who's white needs to be less white to be less of these things. Oh God. I think people of color can also be arrogant and defensive and ignorant. I don't think it's definitively white people. And I don't think anyone needs to feel like they have to be less white to be less oppressive or arrogant or whatever.
Sam actually said that. How does that make you feel?
I don't know. I stand by what I said.
What do you think about it? What do you think about me saying that?
See, I feel like a lot of things you say are not necessarily directly this is what I mean. I think you sometimes you kind of work around it to make everyone think, and I feel like this might be one of them.
So do you believe I said that?
I do believe you said that.
You believe it?
I don't know if you meant it, but I believe you said it.
Why do you believe I said it? What leads you to believe I said it?
Because I've been to every class.
Yeah. so you know that I say things that are kind of getting you to, what do you mean? That I say things like this?
Yeah, like along the lines of just making us think, saying more provocative things to make us think.
Okay, all right. Well, so the thing is, can you tell her the story?
So yeah, this was something that was, it was said about
Diversity training.
Oh,
Yeah.
in diversity training. Not sure where.
For Coca-Cola.
Oh, for Coca-Cola, and so that was something that was said there. And I don't know how it came back to you.
Yeah. So the person who put this up wrote in the blog post that these are the words of Sam Richards, sociology professor at Penn State University. This is what he said. In the video, I said what I said to you about, what did I say about this?
You're saying that like, oh, it was.
What did
yeah,
I
you thought it
actually
was
say?
stupid. Yeah. You
Yeah,
thought
when
it was
we
stupid.
first started talking, what did I
Yeah, and
actually say?
you completely disagree with it. It makes no sense. It's not relevant to.
Counterproductive and
Yeah.
it's dumb.
Yeah.
Okay. And racist.
Yeah, in a way, you felt it was racist towards whites.
So what I did was, you're like the reader of the person who comes along. This person puts this tweet out in the blog thing, and he writes, Sam Richards, sociology at Penn State. This is what he's teaching his students. You come along and read it. He's like the guy that did it, saying, no, this is Sam Richards that said that. And you're like, okay, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I must believe that he did because you're telling me that he did, right? And so, okay, how would you know otherwise, right? And you're here, so you're going like, yeah, this guy says a lot of crazy things, so maybe he said that. But you have no way of knowing. Right? When in fact, I said the exact opposite. So it's one thing to take certain ideas and distort them a little bit, but when we take something and we explicitly lie about it, because in the video, everything I said to you, bro, everything I said to you about this is from a diversity training, this isn't me, this is kind of dumb, this is like really problematic, really disturbing, very troubling. That's everything I said in the video. But it's a different kind of reckoning that we need to go through when somebody watches the video and then explicitly lies and makes a new PowerPoint, a presentation, because that's not even the one I use. Go back to the other one. That's what's in the video. So you make a whole new one, right? And so this is a whole different kind of reckoning. And this is what we're dealing with now in this world, right? The racism. We're talking about white people, right? And like, this idea of just white people being oppressive and arrogant, but just being oppressive, bro? So my question to you is, when's the last time you oppressed somebody?
I can't recall. Don't even know if I have. I mean, I'm sure I have at some point. Somebody believes that I have for them, but like I can't recall saying, oh yeah, I just oppressed that person.
But how would you know?
I guess I wouldn't know. There's no way, because I things that might oppress that person wouldn't oppress me, vice versa. It'd be a hard thing to tell if I offended somebody or bothered them with something I said or did.
Yeah, okay. So like, did you leave your house? You left your house today, right?
Yep.
It's about maybe you oppressed somebody on the way to class?
Potentially. I'm not sure how I would have done that.
Well, I don't know. Were you on your bike? Were you walking in a car?
I took the bus.
All right, you were taking the bus, so maybe you were breathing, right?
I guess, yeah.
Maybe
Maybe I was breathing too heavy.
Yeah, maybe you oppressed someone just by breathing. Cleo, what do you think? What's my message to him?
I think that just by existing, you're not oppressing others if you're not actively trying to do it, and if you don't realize it, then you're not doing it, I guess.
Wait, hang on. What do you think I'm saying to him? Do you think I'm saying that he is oppressing people, or he
No,
is
I
not?
think that you're saying that he isn't oppressing people just because he's just existing. So he's not.
So that's what you took away from that. You didn't take away that I was telling him that he's oppressing people by breathing?
No.
Okay. So the next thing from this was the same class, bro. It's the same class as the other one with the Coca-Cola piece. So I brought these two guys on, and we were just yucking it up about some things, right? And I said, hey, by the way, guys, you're two white guys, right? When's the last time you oppressed somebody? Because I was going back to the Coca-Cola piece and having fun. Like, well, how, were you driving? Were you walking? Maybe you were breathing. You oppressed someone and they were breathing. And then we're yucking it up and like, yeah, right? The text of the one article on Fox News that went viral was Pennsylvania State University professor Sanders has attempted to shame, here's the shame thing again, two white male students concerning privilege and discrimination during a lecture, telling one of them that if he is breathing or going outside, he may be oppressing somebody. So what happened with me was I started getting these letters, these emails about breathing. And I'm like, what the hell is this about? And like the emails were first about, whatever the other thing was. And then suddenly it's about breathing because this goes up, right? And this takes hold. And then it's like you're teaching people that white people that by breathing, they're oppressing people and one thing after another. So is that what happened, bro?
No, not at all. It's just kind of a hypothetical situation that you gave me in a way. And just said it is a possibility, but you didn't straight out say, yeah, you're oppressing me by breathing.
So here, I'm going to take my mask off now, right?
Okay.
All right, so you can see me.
Uh-huh.
And, dude, we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it just like I did in the video. You pressed anybody recently? You're a white guy? Like, you're an oppressive white guy, right? Oppressing anybody recently?
No, not really.
Come on, man. Like, you're white, dude. Like, how do you know? You've been like...
I guess I really don't know.
Yeah,
It's
all
one of
right.
those things.
Were you outside today? Yeah, you were outside because you got here. So, like, what? You're breathing, right? Maybe you're oppressing people by breathing. Yuck, 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 right? And then we go on. That's the video. And so the key is we're in this world of scapegoating. And we're in this world of picking people out to be the representatives of all that we think is wrong with the world. Because you just watch it happen on social media and you hear it and you get a sense of it, you don't really get a sense of what happens behind the scenes when this occurs.